We move on now to Sweden. Swedish Foreign Minister Margot Wallström has effectively been declared persona non grata in Israel after calling for an investigation into what she described as extrajudicial killings of Palestinian attackers. The World Zionist Organization has also taken action, organizing an event yesterday in the Swedish parliament, the aim of which was to highlight Palestinian incitement. Yes, and I'm joined now from Stockholm in Sweden by former Israeli parliamentarian Dov Lipman from the Yesh Atid party. Dov, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Ayman. Great to be with you.
Well, Dov, can you tell us a little more about the event you held?
Absolutely. Last Thursday morning, just a few days ago, the vice chairman of the World Zionist Organization, David Breakstone, turned to me. I work in the public diplomacy in the organization, and said we have to do something in response to the foreign minister's comments suggesting that Israel's carrying out extrajudicial killings of Palestinians in this recent wave of terror. And we have to do something. We can't sit back and just let it be some comments from Jerusalem. Maybe we could do something in Sweden, in the parliament or in the community or something. And thank God, over the last few days, together with the Israel Allies Foundation and the local Zionist Federation here in Sweden, we were able to put together an event in the parliament last night with mainstream parties represented, where Itamar Marcus of the Palestinian Media Watch presented all of the incitement that's going on in the Palestinian Authority, not 20 years ago, not 10 years ago, but over the last few weeks, and to show the members of parliament what's really happening, what's the true cause behind this recent wave of terror. And they sat and they listened, and frankly, Ayman, they were astonished by the evidence that was presented to them last night.
And what were the reaction from members of parliament there, and particularly members of the ruling party?
So it's interesting, here in Sweden, the ruling party is the minority. It's a minority government. So none of the members of her party showed up, but we did have representative of a majority of the parliament at the meeting, and their reactions were very harsh. Member of Parliament Mikael Oscarsson, who hosted the event, said at the end, they are going to call the foreign minister to a public debate, to a public hearing in the parliament. It's going to be broadcast, and they're going to challenge her openly with all of the evidence they saw in Itamar's presentation last night. Let me just tell you, evidence such as leading members of Fatah saying Jews are pigs, Jews are Satan. If you see a Jew behind you, you should go kill him. Tournaments, soccer tournaments over the last few weeks named in honor of some of the young people that have carried out these terror attacks in recent months in Israel. Things which make it so clear how the money which European governments are sending to the Palestinian Authority is being abused and misused. So they said they will call her, they will challenge her by the laws, by the rules of the parliament. She must answer those questions. That's part one. And part two, they're going to do a thorough investigation to see where is their funding going, and to make sure that it's being used for constructive purposes instead of towards incitement to terror.
Yes, Dov Lipman speaking to us from Sweden. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you so much.